What did I leave off? 187,000? Something like that? I had pest control come this morning. Uh, didn't want to. Yeah, 187,000. Okay. Um, Bit of a smell lingering for a bit, so I didn't want to sit at my desk until that had cleared up a bit. Hey, Pogger Bottle. Hey, Clover. I started streaming the moment you got home for lunch break. You go home on your lunch break? Hey, Kanon. I'm doing pretty well. Pest control guy came half an hour early, though. Wasn't expecting that. You hate where you work? Understandable. Yeah, pest control guy came half an hour early, and there are two types of people at the pest control office. And they'll send out random people to my sister's house, and there are two types of people. There's really nerdy guys who always talk to us about a PC setups, and the guy there today was talking about how he was upgrading to a 4070 Ti from his 2080, and how he's on the esports team at the local university, playing Halo and things like that. And then there's just the strange man that we've never seen before that just apparently is associated with the pest control guy. He basically doesn't speak a word. He just comes in, has a very odd energy to him, sprays, and then leaves. Well, the weird thing was that that guy, the pest control time before this was when that guy came, and the pest control office said oh, yeah, we have the same technician as last time who can come out to your place. And the guy shows up, and neither my sister nor I have ever seen this man before in my life. He's never been in our house before. Why did the pest control office say that he was the same person? I've never seen this man before. Also, when he sprayed, he left a very strong poison smell in the house for hours. We had to go eat dinner elsewhere. Because I just couldn't stand being in there. It was giving me a headache. And it also didn't really work very well. The pest control guy that came to spray here today, was doing it because last time it didn't work very well. We were getting earwigs and a couple of roaches coming up. Probably because it's been raining a lot, really humid. A lot of moisture. But this man that apparently was supposed to be the person who was at our house the last time, he was not the person that was at our house the last time. We've never seen him before in our life. Just sprayed poison that made me feel sick and didn't do very much to kill the bugs. And then left without saying a word. Can I give you a challenge idea for beating Terraria Master Mode? How difficult do you want? Scale of 1 to 10. Yeah, hey, can't on a time death. Pretty difficult, 8 or 9 out of 10. No crafting. No crafting's a fun one. Never ask your clients to judge you on your winners. You ask them to judge you on your losers because you have a few. Yeah, you do have a few. You have 50? Damn. Big 5-0? 50 few? No crafting seems like hell. They said an 8 or 9 out of 10, so... No crafting really changes how you interact with the world. I don't think no crafting is too bad, except for, the mech bosses are pretty annoying. Because you have to either get the, summons to drop randomly or sleep, using a scavenged bed from the underworld or, dungeon, to speed up time. But aside from that, it's not terrible. Scavenge your bed from hell, call it the Slumber World. Holy shit, like Rain World? Slumber World Hunter? Can't be as bad as Get Fixed by Medium Core. I mean, I've done a no crafting run a while ago. I was on expert mode, not master, but... You know, if you have access to NPCs, if you do no NPCs and no crafting, that one's a lot trickier. But NPCs give you access to a lot of things. You doing a master mode playthrough? Were you doing the mobile master mode playthrough? Or was that somebody else? I forget. It's a ranger one? Nice. Phoenix Blaster. I played mobile Terraria. What's it like? I mean, modern mobile Terraria is exactly the same as PC Terraria. Well, almost exactly the same as PC Terraria. It just has different control scheme. Old mobile Terraria was a lot different back in like 1.2. I didn't play it then, but... I think you assign buttons on screen. If you see a screenshot of mobile, it's pretty obvious because a lot of the screen space is taken up with buttons. The turkey thing, among other things, yeah. There were Turquoise and Lepus, two bosses. This is where all those, like, enemies that were basically just reskinned existing enemies of a different color, like, spectral mummies and ouch demons and ouch wyverns, dragon hornets, the things that were literally just reskins of existing enemies. Akram, there was like sets of armor and weapons, the Tizona, dragon armor, titan armor, Cupid arrows, which I think were from like the Valentine's event, like stunned things. There were out shrines and pets. One of the things that mobile and console had were like unique pets that in some cases actually did things. I think they had some pets that would deal damage, like the werewolf pet. Mobile tutorial is kind of annoying unless you change controls on screen. Yes, that's what I've heard. Mobile is quite difficult to control unless you set a custom control scheme. You hated Dragon Hornets just when you were playing a 1.2 console. I never played console or mobile. I've only played PC, so I'm not, familiar with them. But they were Hornets, so they're immediately annoying. So how long is your lunch break, Bismarck? They moved a lot from console and mobile? Yes, they moved everything that was exclusive to console and mobile. Because they wanted it to be the same as PC. And pretty much all of the console and mobile exclusive content was low effort and shit. Like, Akram was a shitty boss. Turkor and Lepis also kind of sucked. Whoops. Did you go back at 12? You take an early lunch. What time do you go in? Early? Like 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 11? Usually at work at 7:30. Okay. How long's your commute? If you drive back home, you probably live pretty close, right? "15 minutes during rush hour." Hey, JJ. What are you eating? I swear to fucking God if you say lemon pepper tuna. Nothing, actually? Oh, you're just taking a break, not actually eating anything? You want to get an hour off work. Understandable. How long's your shift? 8 hours? Eating pepperoni with pineapple juice mixed with cinnamon? You say very odd things, JJ. You weaseled down substantially and took on a bunch of side jobs for your actual contracting company. How long do you work then? Are you salaried? Or do you get hourly work? Or is it like commission based what you do? 7:30 to 1? Okay. With an hour lunch. That's pretty light work time. If you're a contract company, you work from 1 to 4 or 5, depends on the day. Okay. This client fucking sucks, so you have no bad feelings. If you have no bad feelings, does this mean you have good feelings? Well, 50, 60 plus. You tried getting help therapy, like I said, but they all said you were crazy and said you should go to the hospital. I feel like they would not have said those words. That seems quite unlikely. You would not believe how much, like, bickering and arguing goes around at, like, office environments or, like, workplaces with, like, middle-aged or older people. Just go listen to, like, that song, High School Never Ends. That's the thing. You think people grow out of it, they don't. You people grew out of it? It's human nature. Gossip, talk, socialization, forming in-groups and out-groups. I see for now and so, and then you told them you ate a screwdriver, and then they said that. If you had a screwdriver in your stomach, I would understand suggesting that you go to the hospital, as having a foreign object in your digestive system is not good. And you should get that removed. What are your thoughts on SpaghettiOs, Bismarck? This is going to tell me all that I need to know about you as a person. Think carefully before you answer. B tier SpaghettiOs with meatballs are better? That's interesting. That's interesting. I see where you stand now. These noises are spooky. I don't like them. Where do I stand on the topic? SpaghettiOs are fucking gross, man. The lemon pepper tuna has corrupted your taste buds. Shit's nasty. not had SpaghettiOs in literal years. When was the last time you had a SpaghettiO? Nine-year-old Bismarck's opinion might be more valid. I don't know. Did 9-year-old Bismarck eat lemon pepper tuna? That's soft octup? Could 9-year-old Bismarck spell? Hey, nah, bro. I could spell at 9 years old. I, like, got second place in the school spelling bee at, like, 9 years old. What grade is 9 years old? Like 4th-ish. Like first grade? What the fuck? No, you generally go to school at like 5 or 6 years old. Like that's usually when you enter like kindergarten or first grade. Okay, work backwards. You graduate high school at 18. Usually. 4 years of high school means you're probably going to be around 13 to 14 when you get into middle school. Middle school's 3 years, so you're probably like 10 to 11 when you graduate, when you enter in middle school, which means 9 to 10 is probably when you start out in 5th grade, and 8 to 9 is probably when you're in 4th grade. Perception is so fucked. I really want to know what you think those kids do for the first 9 years of their life if they enter in first grade at like 8 years old. Wait, how old did you think 9 was? Were you thinking you were like wearing pull-ups and still using a bib and like a binky at 9 years old? Like, barely able to form sentences? When I said 9 years old, what did you think? What was the image that came to mind? What was 9-year-old Bismarck in your mind? Kindergarten? No, kindergarten first grade is like 5 or 6. God, that reminds me, when I graduated 5th grade, on like the final day of 5th grade, my class was gonna have like I was gonna do a show and tell where I brought the 2 leopard geckos that my family had. And like I had planned a time with the teacher, and like my dad and my sister were coming with the geckos, and then the teacher decided to go outside to do something. And then, like, for some reason she stayed outside the whole time, and then my dad had come, and I never had contact him because I didn't have a phone at the time. And then, I don't know what that means, not bro. Whatever DLC added that, I don't have it. What happened? Well, I was just really sad because, like, my dad and my sister came with 2 leopard geckos in, like, a mesh storage container to, like, show to the class. And then my teacher just, like, forgot that that was supposed to happen and like took us outside, and then by the time that I was like, hey, we should probably go back in for that, it was already too late and we were like going home for the day, and then I was just really sad. That's really about it. I remember I got like trapped underneath a giant boulder of snow in a snow pile in elementary school. Like, we were playing on... Those of you that are in areas that have a lot of snow might know what I'm talking about. But, like, you know, middle of winter, the parking lot, at the castle outskirts area. Well, I mean... I don't have that DLC, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like, describing it's not going to make me know, because I don't know it. But yeah, you know, you get those big, you know, snow piles that are like 5 feet tall at the edge of the parking lot. And, you know, in the winter, you know, in elementary school, you'd go play outside for recess. But in order to go outside, you had to have appropriate clothing. You had to have a thick winter jacket. And if you wanted to... That's right. You had to stay in the parking lot. If you didn't have, like, snow pants. And, like, gloves and a hat and things. And if you did, then you could go on, like, the snow piles and out into the playground and whatnot. And there was a point in time where me and my friends were just, like, digging underneath a big, like, boulder of snow. Probably, like, a foot wide in each direction. No, I mean, not a big boulder, but, like, I'm, you know, 8 years old. So, relatively speaking, it's rather big. And it somehow shifted and, like, pinned my leg. And I was trapped under that for probably a good, like, 4 or 5 minutes before we could dig it out. Why are you going? Do you want to be kicked in the balls? Headed for about 5 hours? I mean, that's understandable. I was on the Shakespeare Club in elementary school. Now, make no mistake, I had pretty much no interest in Shakespeare, nor could I act. The only reason I was on the Shakespeare Club is because my sister, who was a year above me, was on the Shakespeare Club, and, like, my parents wanted me to stay with her after school or whatever. So I, like, got stuck participating in plays. I could not act for shit. Especially at, like, you know, I think you were supposed to be in, like, 4th and 5th grade to be able to be in the Shakespeare Club. I was in, like, 3rd grade at the time. Or something. I remember feeling really awkward because, like, God, I was so shit. I didn't have any major roles, of course. I mean... Hey, Silverclick. I know the time the sons of your dad's friend grabbed a big fucking stone and threw it at your hand, trapping you for about 30 seconds and bled a bit. Huh. That's not nice. I remember there was a point in time when I was young where, I was at a friend's house. And I think we were having, like, burgers that he had made on like sliced white bread. And for some reason, I was just eating the sliced white bread. And like we were upstairs in his room. And then like his parents had come back. And like we weren't supposed to be eating up there. So I just like took a slice of white bread and like threw it behind his dresser. And like he ended up getting in a lot of trouble because of that. And his parents were not happy with me. I don't remember why I did that. I just remember doing that. Did I eat snow as a kid? Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, man, if it's not brown or yellow, I was putting it in my mouth. Nothing you love more than licking some obscenely large icicle you found? That fits. That tracks. I could see that. Hey, Pink Mimic. That's about par for the course for you, Bismarck, isn't it? Eat ice like crackers to this day. I don't need ice. I don't even have an ice machine at my house, nor do we really get icicles. I remember there was like the gifted students program, which, funny story. The reason I have a slight speech impediment, is because my sister had a speech impediment. And I largely learned how to talk by mimicking her. And when she was in elementary school, she had like a speech therapy thing that she went to. But instead of doing that, I got sent to like the gifted students, activities or whatever. And mine was a lot more minor than hers was. So she ended up, fixing hers, whereas I just like put on boots and shit and like went out to ponds to like explore, the local wildlife and, do math problems and things like that. Okay, so you're conditioned to accept Kool-Aid as a reward. I'll keep that in mind. Anytime that you behave yourself, I'll dump. It seems like I dropped out for a second there. That was a bit weird. Don't know what is going on. Is my internet just dying? We back? Looks like it's stabilized. That was very odd. I don't know what happened. OBS just disconnected a couple times. You know, anytime you behave yourself, I'm just gonna dump Kool-Aid powder on your head. I need an emote in the Discord server that's just dumping Kool-Aid powder on somebody's head. You have to feed it to you in like 4th grade. 4th graders are able to eat food on their own. They're not toddlers. I was like playing Halo 3 and Modern Warfare 2 to a fairly high skill level in 4th grade. God, that reminds me. I used to have like arguments with the other kids about video games because, you know, obviously video games, hot shit. And at that age, a game that I was really into was the games on the Orange Box. Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Portal, and then TF2. And I couldn't really play TF2 because I don't think I had Xbox Live. So I could only play single-player games. And I remember getting into debates about... Now, I had not played Halo by this point. I just heard about it secondhand. But the gravity gun from Half-Life 2 versus the gravity hammer from Halo. And, you know, in my, you know, 3rd grade eyes, the gravity hammer was just literally a hammer. Like, it wasn't like this big-ass weapon that people... No, it was just like a handheld tool that happened to, like, make things move when you hit it. Like, that was what I pictured. Do I know about the first fractal? Yeah. Star Wars Battlefront 2. I was never into Star Wars in any form. So I never played that. As a kid, games I played, so I feel like you separate it into different eras based on console, right? The main consoles I played games on were probably PS2 and Xbox 360. Now, when I was younger, I did, you know, play a bit on the N64, SNES, GameCube. But, by the time we got a PS2 and Xbox 360 was about the time that I was turning into the age of, like, seriously playing games. And those games were just a lot more interesting and fun to a child. Played Pixel Gun as a kid? I don't know what that is. But yeah, back on the SNES, I remember playing Super Ghouls and Ghosts a decent amount, but I was never good at it. I never got past, like, the 2nd stage. There was, like, a Super Mario All-Stars collection for the SNES. That just had a bunch of different Mario games. Because it's a mobile game. I still don't know what it is. On the N64, I don't think I actually played the N64 that much. I remember my sister played the N64. I would watch her play Ocarina of Time. But I never really played it much myself. And then there was the GameCube, which eventually my dad had taken it away as a punishment, and said he smashed it with a hammer, but that was code for just putting it in the closet, and then not letting us play it. But I remember playing Super Mario Sunshine on that. But then the PS2 is largely what I played a lot on. Dark Cloud 2. My sister played a lot of Dark Cloud 1. I was more into Dark Cloud 2. Yes, I know about Portal. other PS2 games. Gauntlet, Dark Legacy. Played a lot of that as a kid. Dance Dance Revolution. Sly Cooper. There was some dragon game, I think, called, like, Dragon Rage. Sly Cooper's that furry game. With just, like, the anthropomorphic animals. Spyro. Trying to think of other games, but I'm drawing a bit of a blank. I liked dragons a lot, so I was very into Spyro. What else did I play? There was a game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, for the PS2. I remember playing that with my dad. It was like a couch co-op multiplayer top-down, game. I'm trying to think. The PS2 had such a massive library of games. Like, it's hard to remember a lot of what I played. Because this was, God, 14, 15 years ago now? I was not, you know. Those are the main ones I remember. I'm sure there were others. And then round about 2008, maybe 2009. What was the year Modern Warfare 2 came out? Was it 2009? Actually, no. World at War. I played World at War first, which I think COD 4 was 2007. So that would have been 2008. So probably 2008 is when we got an Xbox 360. And God, those old Xbox 360s had so many issues with, like, red rings of death, overheating, and just breaking. We probably went through, like, you know, 3 or 4 consoles as a kid. Especially because, you know, we weren't the best at, you know, making sure it was well ventilated and not running it for long periods of time and things like that. And to swap over the hard drives, save things to USBs. I remember that a bit. It's my favorite COD. I don't really like Call of Duty that much. I don't have a favorite. But yeah, I played World at War first. Then when Modern Warfare 2 came out, played a lot of Modern Warfare 2. And this was also when I got into Halo 3. Played a lot of Halo 3 as a kid. I remember my dad and one of his friends was really into Guitar Hero. What games do I like? I'm telling a story. Alright, wait for the story to be done. My dad played a lot of Guitar Hero. So by proxy, I also played a decent amount of Guitar Hero. I'd see a Bismarck. We had the orange box, which had the Half-Life 2 suite of games, Portal, and Team Fortress 2. But I didn't have Xbox Live, I think, so I couldn't play TF2 for a while. Remember I also got scared of a lot of my progress through the Half-Life 2 games was, I essentially kept going until I reached a point in the game where I got scared, and then I started playing a different Half-Life 2 game on the thing. Like in Half-Life 2 proper, I got up to Ravenholm, and then I got, like, really scared of Ravenholm, so I started playing Half-Life 2 Episode 1. And then in Half-Life 2 Episode 1, I got up to... There's a point very early on, like, very early on, after you get out of the Citadel, it's here, Navra, where you need to crawl into a ventilation duct. This is in the slums under the city, and it's dark, there's no light. And you have to use your flashlight. And I remember I would get really scared as a kid, because I don't think the flashlight, like, lasted long enough. So I was just too scared to go forward there. And then in Half-Life 2 Episode 2, I don't know if there actually was a point that I got walled because I was scared. And then eventually I went back and, you know, played through those areas. In 2011, I got Skyrim. Played a lot of Skyrim. Actually, it was probably like 2012 or 2013 that I got Skyrim. I didn't get it when it released. I wanted it because I had seen other people like on YouTube playing it, and it seemed like a really fun game. And that wouldn't have been until a bit afterwards, because I think Skyrim released on 11/11/11. Hey, Nuzzle. How will the Skyrim hold up today? That's complicated, is how I'd put it. It's graphically can be made to hold up fairly well with mods, ENBs, and things like that. Gameplay-wise, it's got a lot of issues. We talked about this yesterday, but the character's basically just written as a Mary Sue, and there's very little, you know, variability in quest lines or player agency and choices. And a lot of the RPG elements are lacking in terms of, you know, your character's build. You just have very simplistic perks that you choose on a tree. I mean, I go back and play Skyrim from time to time. Mostly because I have some achievements. I've been wanting to 100% it on Steam. And I can usually play Skyrim for a solid maybe 15 or 20 hours in a playthrough before I get bored. Usually around the time I hit mid-level, something in the 20s, 30s, 40s, I end up just getting fizzled out and bored. YouTube needs to add in GIF support. Like, in chat? Or, like, as uploading them? But yeah, I played a lot of Half-Life 2 as a kid. What the fuck? Okay. I'm going to drop the stream quality, because for some reason it dropped out again. I don't know if I said hi, Nuzzle. Hi, Nuzzle. Okay, give me 1 sec. Your stream's gonna pause for a sec, as I lower the quality to 720. Okay. Should be back now. And hopefully that'll stop it. I don't know why this is happening. This happened, like, a week or two ago, when we've been rewatching some videos. I remember it happening a bunch. I don't know why it's happening. But hopefully that fixed it. And I'm gonna refresh chat in case that got messed up. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I played a lot of Half-Life 2 as a kid. I didn't have, you know, it's something that I guess younger, people might not register as much, but, it was a lot bigger commitment getting a game, which might also just been reflective of the financial situation a bit, but, like, you know, I would only get, Half-Life 2 was so good? Was so good? It was, yeah. I mean, I've replayed Half-Life 2 a lot. Half-Life 2 still holds up as a really great game. I wish I remembered more of the PS2 era games that I played. I really only remember the ones that I said, and even then, I don't remember the games that well, because I was, pretty young when I was playing on the PS2. So, like, while I remember, playing, you know, Spyro, Sly Cooper, Dragon Rage, all those other games I talked about, I don't remember a lot of details about them, because it's been a long time. Oh, I remember. Another game I played on the 360 was a JRPG by the name of Blue Dragon. I played that game a lot. It was basically like the JRPG that I played growing up. And is one of the very few JRPGs that was on the Xbox 360. It was a launch title with the 360. This was back when games had multiple discs. I think it had 3 discs. Yeah, God, I probably played that game for hundreds of hours. Yeah, games had to last until the next year. Well, birthday and Christmas. Yeah, a lot of people played, like, Final Fantasy or, some other JRPGs. They're the same for you? Does that mean you get to double dip, or you just get one? My sister's birthday is, not too long after Christmas, and usually she ends up just, getting one, not both. You know, it might be like going out for a birthday dinner, but as far as, like, presents and things. Oh. My birthday is in the middle of the, year, though, so. I get plenty. I remember, only console games you played when you were younger was the Wii and played that much in your childhood. Double from close family, one from others. Makes sense. That reminds me. I didn't have a Wii growing up, but I did play a lot of handheld games. The Game Boy Color, when I was very young. Then Game Boy Advanced, and then finally the DS when that came out. I still have the bulky ass. I think it was my sister's DS, but the bulky ass original DS. You know, I completely forgot about the PSP. My sister had a PSP that I would play on sometimes, but I didn't really get to play on it much. I remember there was this Neopets game, this Neopets RPG game that I really wanted to play that I could never play because it was her game and she didn't want to let me play it. You know, I used to swim as a kid on a swim team. Did Game Boy Color till DSi. And it was a big thing, at swim meets and things. Because essentially, if you're not familiar with being on a swim team, during meets, which are competitions, you basically go to a place that has a pool. You'll have, like, a couple of races that you're going to compete in for the day. And then the rest of the time, you just sit in, like, a gymnasium. Or just, like, wandering around. It's usually, like, a school or a gym or something. And you would just sit there for hours with nothing to do. So handheld devices, games, this was before phones were really a thing, were really common. And playing, I would bring my Game Boy when I was a lot younger. And God, I remember I had so many shitty Game Boy games. I didn't have good Game Boy games. I had, there was this Pirates of the Caribbean game that was really bad, that I remember playing. There was, I did have a Sonic game, but it was like Sonic Pinball. It wasn't like an actual Sonic game. I don't think I had a Pokemon game for a while. When the Game Boy Advance came out, I got Leaf Green. And I played a lot of Pokemon Leaf Green. I don't think I had Emerald, Ruby, or Sapphire, but I have them now. God, this was back when video games would, for you younger folks, memory space wasn't, common in a lot of older gaming devices. Especially on, like, the Game Boy and things. You wouldn't save a file. What you would do is you would get a code after, like, beating a level, and then you would put that code in, and it would take you to, like, the start of the next level, and that would be, like, essentially your save. And I would just keep, like, this notebook of codes for different games on me, for getting to the next level. I don't remember a lot of those Game Boy games. I was young. I mean, you're a fair bit older than me, Nuzzle, so, I'm sure you probably would have remembered them a lot better, but this would have been when I was, like, 5 or 6 years old. Hey, Mazzy. But yeah, and then when the DS came out, that was hot shit. Being able to connect with other people wirelessly, because I didn't have, like, the cable to connect Game Boys to, like, trade Pokemon and things, but, like, actually being able to trade Pokemon or, like, play games with other people on the DS around you was, like, that was mind-blowing as a kid. Or being able to do, like, what was it, like, PictoChat, where, like, you'd, draw things and send messages to each other. We'd do that in, like, hotel rooms, when we would go to stay at swim meets, or field trips, in school. How long have I been fighting? Today? About an hour. Playing New Super Mario Bros. Vs. your brother is one of your favorite childhood memories. Also a favorite. Well, what I meant was... You're the same age as my older sister, who I live with, and we have a lot in common, but her memories of a lot of the things that we did as kids are a lot better than mine, because she was 5 years older than me. What's playing with the top eye? There's a teleporter by the top eye. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. It's just your, recollection of things would have been a lot better. Like, I don't remember, like, as a kid, my sister, when we were going back through our old PC, family PC with pictures and things, she had, yeah, Nuzzle. She went into a big goth phase in the early 2000s. And there was this, website called, like, Vampire Freaks, like an early social media site that's now defunct. That she had pictures of her, like, like posing for and like putting on filters and like goth makeup and all that shit. But yeah, a lot of DS. Then, of course, you could actually save games on the DS, which was nice. Well, you could save games on Game Boy, which is, a lot of games didn't, but the DS, allowed you to do that a lot better. I remember I would lose my stylus all the time as a kid. I was so shit at taking care of that thing. I would just play the game with my finger. Hey, Jokey. I seem to have had a good childhood. It was nice enough. Certainly wasn't bad by any stretch, but... one of the things I remember, which, you know, I'm not sure if it's as much a product of the time or just a product of living in a more remote area, is, when I was a kid, I lived in the northern US. Very winter storm prone region, and we would lose power a lot, and when we lost power it would be for like days, sometimes a week or two. I remember there was an ice storm in like 2013 or 2014. We had lost power for like, I think like 3 or 4 weeks. And as a result, we always had a bunch of just like emergency power loss plans, like candles, a lot of candles. I remember back in like 2009 or 2010, my dad had gotten this really bright flashlight, wind up flashlights, not battery powered, things you could crank. Firewood, or gathering firewood outside, then lighting a fire to like keep reptiles warm because we had leopard geckos. Board games, a lot of board games. Played in very dark conditions late into the night. Eventually we got a generator. We didn't have a generator at first though. It was a while before we got one. But yeah, and similarly, like dial-up internet one family PC was that was something. I remember I would play a lot of... There was some Civilization game that I had for the PC. I forget if it was like Civ 2 or 3 or 4. But I remember... So I have 2 sisters. One who's a year older than me, and then one that's 5 years older than me. I live with the one that's 5 years older than me. But my other sister, the one who's a year older than me, we would play Civilization against each other on the family PC. And when you played Civ locally like that, you would basically just take turns getting up and then letting the other person take a turn. Like, you'd sit there for like, 10 minutes or whatever, organizing all your towns and troops and units, and then just get up and call the other person over, and then they'd come over and do that. And you just do that for like genuinely days. Like, each turn takes 10-15 minutes as a kid, not being, very tactically inclined, and just have these games that lasted over very long periods of time. I was also big into Neopets and Webkins as a kid. I was never really into Club Penguin. I never really got that. But Neopets and Webkins. Convincing my parents to, like, buy me different Webkins, because they had codes to, like, unlock them online. The plushies that they would sell at, like, Cracker Barrel and Toys R Us and whatnot. And then Neopets. Love Neopets. Welcome back, Nava. Oh, another game for the 360. I've talked about this one before, but there's a game called Two Worlds. That I had for the 360. And oh my god, that game was complete shit. But god, it was entertaining to play as a kid. The voice acting in it was, like, god awful. And the game was, like, a really glitchy, buggy mess. I remember soft-locking the game several times, clipping into areas you're not supposed to be. There's a spell in the game, if you, like, spec into, like, whatever the, like, restorative magic is, that just lets you revive anything in the entire world indefinitely. Not, like, as a servant. Like, they don't follow you around. No, you just bring them back to life, and then things proceed exactly as normal. Or I think maybe they ally themselves with you, but otherwise they're just completely normal. So you can just go around killing whoever you want and then raising them from the dead. I had a lot of fun playing that as a kid. A lot of issues with disc scratching, I remember too. Family with 3 kids playing video games. A lot of them on the younger side, not knowing how to take care of discs correctly. There were a lot of games that, like, we just stopped playing because the discs were scratched and unplayable. Which is really quite unfortunate. Oh, there was a Futurama PS2 game. I used to play that a lot. That was a lot of fun. I don't know if I ever beat it as a kid. I beat it later, I remember. But I don't know if I got past... There's a level past the sewers. I think where you play as, like, Leela. I don't know if I ever beat that level. I just remembered something else. So, I didn't play this as a kid, but, a bit later in life, when I was in the ballpark of, like, 15 years old, probably. My sister, older sister, the one I live with now, was, selling video games at flea markets. She had a large inventory of games, PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, in consoles and video game paraphernalia and whatnot. And she would go on Sundays, set up outside, put out tables, and sell games. And I would go help her with it, and she'd give me like $20 for the day for helping. And as part of that, we tested a lot of like just random video games, make sure that they worked. And there was a particular game that I remember we had gone to my dad's apartment, and we had taken a console, I think it was a 360, to test there. I think we were using his 360 because we had some 360 games we wanted to test, but ours wasn't working or something. And there's a game, Burger King Pocket Bike Racer, which I think Burger King gave out as like a promotional event. There were like 3 Burger King games that Burger King had made. There was Pocket Bike Racer, which was a racing game. It was like Mario Kart, but with Burger King characters. And the Burger King characters were like, there was the king, the Burger King himself. They were just like employees. What the fuck is Burger King? It's a restaurant, in America. It has a different name in Australia, I think. But it's a fast food restaurant. Sells burgers. Yeah, some of the racers were like just employees. Like they were just regular people. And then you can contrast that with like, I think it was like just like a guy that was just like a giant burger. There was the Burger King himself. I don't remember too many others, but I remember they were very weird. And you would just like be racing in like neighborhoods or a construction what do you call construction area, I guess. Yeah, I basically spent the night just like playing that with my dad. And that was really fun. A lot of shitty Mario Kart copies. This game was not... I mean, don't get me wrong. The game was kind of shit, but holy fuck, it was entertaining. And Burger King made 3 games. And this was only one of them. They weren't all, like, Mario Kart clones. Oh, I remember there was this Yoshi game. I think it was on the N64. How many Terraria playtime hours do I have? Like 4,500. That I really liked as a kid. Yoshi's Story? Yoshi's Adventure? Something like that. I remember you'd, like, go around and, like... you'd collect eggs and you'd, like, unlock different color Yoshis you could play. You played Chavo Kart, which was shit. I've never heard of it. You know, the game was very entertaining. But like, it was not a particularly good game. Chavo was a Mexican cartoon. Oh, okay. trying to think of other games that I played as a kid. There were tons. I just blanking with them on the spot. I do remember when Left 4 Dead came out. My dad had bought Left 4 Dead and wanted to play it with us. And I was like too afraid to play Left 4 Dead because I thought it was like a scary movie because I watched like the intro cinematic that plays. I was young at the time. Left 4 Dead was well, young but not that young. I remember being like too afraid to play the game for like a week or two. I was kind of a little bitch as a kid and was afraid of a lot of things, particularly scary movies and scary games. Which is why when I was playing Half-Life 2, I got scared at like Ravenholm or like that one tunnel at the beginning of Half-Life 2 Episode 1 we have to crawl into before you get your gun. It was too spooky. I do remember being into like the Happy Wheels craze as an impressionable kid. Because I'd see like YouTubers playing it and then like me and my friends thought it was really cool and would like make levels and play the game a lot. You're playing Happy Wheels? Yeah. I found out what pornography and female anatomy was through Happy Wheels. That was a trip. It was my 11th birthday party? 10th birthday party? Something like that. I had friends over and we were playing games and one of them like wanted to show us something and he goes on Happy Wheels and finds this level that was just like well, really just pornography. It was just like shapes arranged to look like a naked woman. And the stream is dying. Why is the stream dying? Why? Why? I don't... The quality's not high. This really is not taking very much bandwidth at all. I'll be back in 1 sec. Let me check something. No, it's still dying. I don't know. I might just stop there for the day. For right now, then. Because I don't want to stream with... fix it? No, it's still going. I don't know. There's not really anything on my end that I can do about this. I mean, I can stop the music. Hold on. We'll see. Maybe... I mean, stopping the music helped? Is that causing it? Actually, no, it looks like it fixed itself now. Whatever it was seemed to have passed. Okay. I don't know, we don't, uh... It fixed itself. If it happens again, though, I'll probably, stop after that. What was I talking about? I don't know why. For some reason, my internet just decides to, randomly just go through hiccups like that, in which case it's just, like, not really possible to stream, which is really annoying, because I have a very good internet speed. It just decides to shit the bed sometimes. There's nothing else taking bandwidth. Nothing's happening. Just get throttled for some reason. I don't know what Friv is. Do one thing real quick. Free website for a lot of small Flash games. I played Newgrounds games a decent amount as a kid. Old Flash game site with hundreds of Flash games. Okay. But yeah, I had, like, no idea. This would have been, like, 6th grade. I think the summer before 6th grade, because 6th grade is where we had, like, sex ed. So it would have been before that. And I basically had no idea what was going on. As they were talking about, like, vaginas and things, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm confused. Why are we doing this? It was awkward. I don't know, birthday parties were weird, because, as a kid, I didn't really have that many friends. I had one close friend, and then some people that I knew fairly well that, like, you'd invite to a party. But I never really hung out with other people. Like, I wouldn't really go to friends' houses that often, to have, like, sleepovers or hang out or whatever. Nor would they come to my house. So a lot of the friends I had were, like, school friends that I wouldn't really end up doing anything with, and I would usually just do things with my family. But yeah, the big thing that I would do a lot for birthday parties would just be, like, to go to amusement parks, like water parks, or Six Flags New England. You have no friends who want to talk ever? It's different in the modern age with cell phones and things like that. Like, if I wanted to talk to my friends, I'd have to call their landline and then talk to their parents and, things like that. Have a piece of paper on the fridge with all their cell phone numbers on it. Never had that much friends in school. That many friends, not much. Yeah, all that to say. So the group of people that I was, like, having my birthday party with weren't people that I, like, were, like, super close friends with. They were kind of just people that, like, I had fun with in school and invited. So that kind of added to the feeling of awkwardness, though. Oh, Minecraft was big. I got into Minecraft 2012, I think. I remember I started playing it before the official release. I think like a month or two before, because I had a friend who had like discovered Minecraft and was like, "Hey, you got to check this game out." And there was some website where you could play like the an early build of Minecraft in creative mode in multiplayer without like buying it or making an account. It might have just been Minecraft's website, I don't remember. And then I bought it around the time of the official release and played a lot of Minecraft as a kid. 1.7. I don't know Minecraft's version numbers. I haven't played Minecraft since, like, the update they added the wither. I don't remember, whenever that was. Sometime in, like, 2013, 2014. I wasn't really able to play modded Minecraft because my computer couldn't handle modded Minecraft. I had to play Minecraft on, like, minimum settings. Low render distances. Couldn't really do mods. I remember people thought I was a girl on Minecraft because I had the word cat in my username. So by default, people just assumed I was a girl, and so people would just like give me free items. Yeah, I played some more Minecraft recently, and Minecraft is just so boring. Like, I've mentioned it before, but Minecraft is the video game equivalent of white bread. Like, it's got so little substance to it. It's a sandbox. It's meant to, you know, be an exercise in creativity things, but, like, the core gameplay itself sucks. Like, I'm sorry. The combat's awful. There are not that many enemies. The world itself is very repetitive and samey. It's just grinding, and there's durability to essentially just cause the gameplay loop to restart. But that gameplay loop is kind of unfun to begin with. Now, I'm talking solo vanilla Minecraft. You add in mods or multiplayer and the story changes a bit. I could see myself having fun, with modded Minecraft or multiplayer Minecraft. On that note, my sister has a PC that she's setting up as a server, and she wants to run a Pixelmon server off of it. That's the Pokemon Minecraft mod. She's been meaning to do it for a while. So that might be something that I end up setting up at one point to play. Talking about dial. Zero internet during calls. You'd piss off family to do a 45-minute call. Yeah. We've had the thing ready to set up, trying to set up a Pixelmon server for a while. We just haven't had the time or the interest to do it. But she likes Pixelmon a lot. But the main thing that she disliked about Pixelmon is she didn't have anyone to play it with. So I told her I could probably find people to populate a server and I could play it as well. Got in mods that added the Twilight Forest dimension. God, Random Gods is so fucking loud compared to every other song on the Rain World soundtrack. Please, 5 Pebbles, turn down your speakers. I didn't get a phone until... It was weird, because for a while, well, you're welcome to, Nuzzle, but it'd probably be like a public server that I'd, let a lot of people play on. But, for a while, didn't get a laptop. It wouldn't be, like, right now. It would be a little while from now. But yeah, this might be a strange concept to people that are used to phones just being, like, omnipresent, but, I didn't have a phone until I was probably, like, 9 or 10 years old. And the phone that I did get was, like, a track phone, which would basically be just a flip phone. And you had to purchase, like, minutes, in order to use them. And anytime you sure it'd be fun to do a lewd roleplay in all chat. Please, no. Please. You basically bought time to use the phone, and you would, like, recharge the amount of time that you had by buying more. And, like, text messages would take a certain number of minutes, and so it wasn't really like I could just, even though I had a phone, I couldn't really, like, talk to my friends or, like, text them much because, one, I don't think they had a phone. And two, I only had so many minutes, so, like, I couldn't just, like, call them and chat, because, like, time is money. I gotta pay for this shit. I'm, like, 10 years old. I don't have the money for that. It's like emergencies, call your family. You miss your flip phone? I remember there was a point in time when I was, like, 12 years old. I didn't get a smartphone until I was in high school. Probably, like, 14 years old. Did it have Snake? Yes. I remember playing Snake on my old flip phone. I also remember there was this... My mom had a flip phone, and there was, like, a fucking Assassin's Creed game, that you could play, on her flip phone, and it was, like, really shit quality. But I remember that was, like, mind-boggling. But yeah, I didn't have a smartphone until I was, like, 14 years old or something in high school. And there was a point in time where, for some reason, as a kid, when I was probably, like, 10 or 11 years old, I had gotten really mad, and I snapped my phone in half, and, rendered it, what might seem, unusable. You can't see the top half of the phone. I continued to use that phone to send text messages for months after the fact. Just by memorizing, like, because I had the muscle memory of, like, where to press to contact different people. And I would basically just text without being able to see, for, like, months after the fact. Until I got a new phone. I got a laptop for the first time in, 7th grade. I needed to get a laptop because I was going to a school that required me to have a laptop. So I basically just got a personal laptop. It was a shitty laptop. It was probably, like, less than $100 refurbished, low-quality thing that basically just, couldn't really run very much. But that was the laptop that I started playing Terraria on. Very low settings, frame skip off, slow down at, graphically intensive things back in, I think it was... Christmas 2012. You can write stuff without opening your eyes. You remember it so well. You just have a keyboard in your head simulating what you need to write. Yeah, I couldn't really play PC games. You know, even though I had a laptop, it was so shitty that, like, I couldn't play anything until... Really, the only PC games I played, there was, like, Civ... I think it was maybe Civ 4. It was either Civ 3 or Civ 4, that I played, on the old family PC. There were, you know, the web games. Flash games, Neopets, Webkins, Happy Wheels, stuff like that. I remember there was a pirated copy of Spore that my oldest sister's ex had gotten. So I played a lot of Spore as a kid. Minecraft. There was some, like, rhythm game that I had on Steam. Because my Steam account is old. I made my Steam account in 2012? But I didn't have any games on Steam that I would, like, play for quite a few years after that. But there was, like, one game that just was, like, a rhythm game. I don't remember what it was, that I played on Steam on the family PC. Remember there's a Flash game called, like, Robot Unicorn Attack 2? That my sister really liked, and by proxy, therefore, I liked because she liked it. When I got to middle school with my computer, this was when I met a lot of people that also played PC games, and there was pressure to, you know, play games with them. You know, to hang out and things, because the school was like an hour away. It was near my mom's work. It was a charter school for, like, gifted students or something. That she wanted me to go to instead of the public school that I had been at. So I drove with her to commute to work, which was an hour to and from school every day. And I didn't really live near anyone else that went there. So really the only way I could hang out with them would have been online. But the problem is I couldn't really run the games that they could run, with the exception of, like, Minecraft, Terraria. I think I could play TF2, but, like, very poorly. This is when I'd started getting into the Binding of Isaac. And actually, I played Flash Isaac, the original one, for a while. I have 9 messages on Discord. Yeah, sure. That's fine, Nuzzle. I can't really, type back that, though. Yeah, sure. What was I talking about? Right, Isaac. I was getting into Isaac for the first time. And by the time I started playing original Isaac, it was post Wrath of the Lamb, late in the game cycle, and shortly after, Rebirth had come out. But I could not play Rebirth. My PC could not handle playing Isaac Rebirth. So I basically kept playing Original Isaac until I upgraded my PC. I remember, I think in Original Isaac, anytime I would take a pill, there would be a visual effect that would slow down my PC so fucking much. But yeah, Isaac was one of the big games I played, because I'd play it at school. Like, we had like study halls, and you'd sneak playing video games on your laptop. You're gonna go and watch the Subnautica stream? Okay. Understandable. Have fun. Trying to think. I don't think there were really that many other games that I played on Steam. I remember I played a lot of TF2, and I would I don't know why I did this. I guess I just liked being generous. I would convince my mom to give me like an allowance on Steam, and like give me like $5-10 on Steam to do things, and I would use those to buy keys in TF2 and then just gift them to random people. That's why in TF2 I have there's like the Christmas giving thing, and I think I have like a decently sizable number of gifts given. Somewhere in the double digits. I don't know how much. Yeah, I would just convince her to give me money to, and I didn't tell her what I was spending it on, but it was buying keys to gift to other people. I also got Left 4 Dead 2. There was a point in time, it was like Christmas 2013 maybe? I don't remember when it was exactly. But there was a point in time where Steam was, and Valve were giving away Left 4 Dead 2 for free, for Christmas. And I had gotten it, but I couldn't run Left 4 Dead 2. Like, genuinely, I tried. I honestly got, like, 1 FPS. And so the game was just completely unplayable, for quite a while. I remember I had gotten Stardew Valley a couple years later. And my laptop could not run Stardew Valley because my laptop did not have like the necessary like graphical requirements for Stardew Valley. Like the game just wouldn't launch. And so what I did is I would steal my mom's work laptop and copy Stardew Valley and Steam over to a flash drive, and then run the game off of that to play it. Hey, David. You get it, thankfully you're older, so you had a desktop from 09 and a high-end laptop in 14 January. Yeah, I didn't really have a good PC until, I mean, 2020, when I built the PC that I have now. Pretty much any time before that, my ability to play PC games was very low. I remember, this is kind of going into what you were talking about earlier, Nuzzle, but I mean, I had unrestricted internet access when I got my laptop, basically. Um, and it was very weird, the types of things that I just, like, took for granted or took to be true because of seeing people online say them. Like, I remember there were, like, meme websites that I would go on that would just have fairly, like, misogynist or racist jokes, that I didn't really understand, but other people seemed to find them funny, so I just found them funny as well and assumed them to be, like, truthful statements. It didn't really happen too much with YouTubers because, I didn't really watch too many YouTubers at that point. And the ones I did watch seemed to be decent enough people. But it's very easy to give impressionable children, essentially instill ideas in them. I do remember, I've talked about this before, but I had friends, freshman year of high school, who, let's say, held some beliefs that, in the years afterwards, I decided, were beliefs that I neither held nor really wanted to associate with. I remember this, we used to hang out in Skype calls, and they got a lot of amusement out of, quite racist and homophobic jokes. I remember there was a song that one guy would, like, lose his shit over. That was just to the tune of DuckTales. Somebody saying, "I hate," insert very inappropriate racial slur in America. Or, like, just posting a picture of a trans person as the butt of a joke or something. And essentially, it was a situation where, you know, not having that many friends, new environment. I had moved to well, halfway down the East Coast the year before, so I didn't know anyone in the area, and it was just like, oh, okay, social outcast going to, you know, other social outcasts trying to make friends, and then you just kind of tolerate it because you want company, you want people to talk to, you want people to hang out with, that they're just kind of shitty people, and it took me a little while to realize that. Yeah, it was weird because I remember you'd get the adamant, like, I'm not racist, I just think it's funny, or something like that. Or the, I'm not racist, I just have an edgy sense of humor, or things like that. I think I'll go to 18400. Sorry, 184,400. And then cut there for the stream. Wait, no, 184,000. Yeah. So another 400 damage, basically. Remember another thing that I did as a kid was I was really into Doctor Who as like a preteen, early teenager. My mom had gotten a van that had a video player, like the driver's seat and the passenger seat had a video player behind them. And anytime we would go anywhere, I had the first few seasons of the new Doctor Who, Eccleston and Tennant, their runs, and I would just watch those whenever I was in the car, which was very frequently. There was a point in time where I had gone to Comic-Con in New York and was cosplaying as the 10th Doctor. I had like, so I would have been when I was like 15 or 16. I had ordered like the trench coat off of Amazon. Bought a pinstripe suit. I'd done it on Halloween with a friend of mine, and we like stopped by Hot Topic. He was cosplaying as I think Ezio from Assassin's Creed. I had like bought a sonic screwdriver there, and then we just like went out to eat at a restaurant where nobody else was wearing anything. Got a lot of weird stares. Yeah, especially with political rabbit holes before kids have life experience to understand it, so they get rattled like class without knowing, normalizing hate. Yeah. And a lot of it's just because they're willing to make them feel wanted, or feel like they're friends, which is something they might not have experienced before. But yeah, a good friend of mine, the one that I was talking about, he was a couple years older than me. I haven't talked to him in quite a long time. A little bit of an awkward situation because he was my sister's ex-boyfriend. The older sister, the one I have, I'm living with now. He was the one who had bought me Terraria for the first time. We played a lot together. I remember trying to set up a LAN connection when 1.3 dropped in 2015. Running upstairs trying to figure out a way to connect my laptop to his PC to play 1.3. I'd also played, so I played Magic the Gathering sometimes, and he was who had gotten me into Magic. How many times did Moonlord heal? He hasn't. Unrestricted internet access is a big culprit. Yeah, but it's a tough situation. Um, I think it's less excusable now than in the past. I could understand not understanding the dangers of giving your kid unrestricted internet access in the 2000s, even the early 2010s, but it's become so ubiquitous now that I think it's less excusable. It's more that even giving them restricted internet access can be problematic. Like you might say your kid can go on YouTube, but there's tons of shit they can find on YouTube. Even like YouTube Kids. You know, their friends might be all on TikTok, and your kid pesters you a lot about downloading TikTok, and then they find all sorts of things on TikTok. Or even if you don't let them, they go to a friend's house. And their friend has unrestricted internet access, and they find things there. YouTube Kids app is pretty decent. Like, I know my sister and I have, looked into... So, my youngest sister has a TikTok account, and we've, tried to talk with our mom. So, I have two older sisters, and a younger sister and a younger brother. And the younger two siblings have a lot of access to things online, and we've talked with, our mom about, you know, what they should and shouldn't be able to access, but because of how much social pressure there is, she lets them have TikTok accounts, because it's like a really fucking big thing, apparently, at their school, and, like, you know, all the kids have it or whatever, but, she sets it up in a way so that, like, she's friends with them, she monitors what they post or whatever, and the things that they post can only be seen by friends or whatever, which, not ideal, but, what my sister and I noticed is, you know, she, my youngest sister, the things that, so my oldest sister got a friend request from an account, and we don't know if it was my youngest sister's, like, alt account, or if it was, like, one of her friends' account. The only mutual friend was my youngest sister's account. And the things that account was posting was, like, videos of police officers killing dogs, and saying, like, all cops are bastards, which, I mean, sentiment's fine, but children should not be seeing, dogs be getting killed, or, like, similarly very inappropriate content, and it's unclear how exactly she has this connection to this content, if she's posting it herself, if it's a friend, and, like, she goes over to a friend's house and potentially sees things like that. But even, like, there's only so much that you can do to restrict a child's access to find things on the internet. They will find things that are inappropriate. At least most of your classmates, if not all of them, have a TikTok and you've never really used it. I don't like TikTok because it's just a massive security, issue. And all in all, it's basically just monopolizing your attention span and is extremely problematic in that way. You're still a YouTube addict? Yeah, it's tough because there's the balancing the pressure of you don't want your kids to be isolated and left out by their friends, right? And if their friends are all on TikTok, on social media, on have phones, things like that. Well, you can not let your kid have that, but if you don't let them have that, they might become isolated from their social circles and friends, or left out, which is bad. You don't want that. So maybe you give them, restricted access to things, but restricted access is imperfect. There are flaws. There are cracks. Hey, Clover. TikTok's a time waste. You can't remember that you watched something months after it wasn't a good piece of media, and there's no way you can remember anything you see on TikTok. Yeah, but not all media you watch has to be good media. Like, I don't remember everything I watched months ago. Like, I don't remember, like... I mean, you're watching this stream right now. I'm not... I don't remember all the things I streamed months ago. I think plenty of people who watch it, like, aren't going to remember, like, the specifics of what was going on. So I don't necessarily agree with that metric being used as, gauging whether or not it's, good or not. It's fun to see some shit that always happened, with the sheer amount of hateful garbage you get. Yeah. That's why it's more important to talk to your kids and make them aware of things like this, rather than just trying to completely isolate them from it and act like it doesn't exist and just restrict their access so they don't see it. But completely illogical hate speech. There's also the fact that there's strong counterculture in a lot of children. And it might seem cool or edgy, especially as you get to, like, teenagers, high schoolers. Met a group of 3 kids who are worshipping the Tate. They were 9 years old. Yeah, that's a very unfortunate reality. You have no trouble understanding why any people use TikTok. The reason is because TikTok is designed in such a way to give you, rapid release of serotonin and other hormones that essentially make you go, I like this is fun, and then you just look for the next one. Do they know what's wrong with the app and just ignore it? I think it's all untrue. So I had a friend, who's no longer my friend, a couple years ago, who was a close friend of mine. I talked with her a lot. Who I had expressed to her that a lot of these things were dangerous, or things like that, and her response was basically just, I don't care. It is fun to me. It lets me ignore whatever troubles I'm having in my life. It lets me, it's a way to kill time. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Regardless of what it's doing in the long term, I like what it's doing now. That kind of vibe. It's gonna take me a minute to read all that, Nuzzle. I think it's mostly that they don't care about the downsides, and they just like the entertainment. I mean, it is an addiction, genuinely, and it's hard to... Like, addictions prey on normal human responses. And it can be really hard to break addictions. It's an impression when you watch that kind of content, especially if you start the addiction young. Like, if you start doing it when you're 14, 50, even younger now. 14, 15, even younger now. If you start doing it when you're 9, 8 years old, you can just get normalized and essentially wire receptors in your neurons to have a really difficult time getting enjoyment from things that are not short-form content like TikTok. it's basically just predatory design that takes advantage of how humans work. It's the same reason that, like, a lot of foods, food science is really immoral in that way too, because food is, you know, chock full of sugars, sweeteners, things that your body craves and wants, and then it can make it difficult to eat food that doesn't have those things. And your body is constantly craving the sweetness, the saltiness, the high fructose corn syrup, whatever. Yeah, they tried to molest you when you talked to them, told you schizophrenia wasn't real. And that woman can't drive, trying to refuse to leave the parking spot surrounded by a motorcycle. Yeah, that's, it's a tough situation, though. Like, do you blame the kids? Because they're only, like, 9 years old. Do you blame the Tates for putting out that content? Do you blame their parents for, allowing them to grow into that type of person? Yeah, I wouldn't blame the kids. It's just sad, thinking about them. Because it's hard to blame somebody who's not really old enough to understand what they're doing or why it's wrong. I feel like I made a slightly different decision as a kid. You would have ended up as a massive asshole with horrible views on life. I mean, the thing is, even if you are a massive asshole with horrible views on life, if, like, somebody is listening to this and, like, going, hey, that kind of describes me, but, like, it's not too bad, or, oh, it's too late, it's already happened, you can change. You can reflect on who you are and change later in life. You know, even if you reach the age of 20, 25, 30, 40, it's not too late to reflect on what you're doing and change for the better. It's just most people usually need a wake-up call to realize it. Because a lot of the times, especially younger people, won't recognize that their actions can have consequences in that way. Now, some of them absolutely will, and will be doing these things with the intention of hurting people. But some people will be doing them and thinking that their rhetoric isn't really that hurtful, or, you know, people are recognizing that they mean it as a joke or whatever, and then they end up hurting somebody, or they end up getting in arguments, fights, potentially getting into legal trouble. And sometimes that can be the wake-up call that people need to self-reflect and realize that what they're doing is wrong. I'm doing alright, Foxy. If one of the kids take a ride on your bike to get home. Yeah, spewing hate openly and trying to prevent women and vehicles from leaving the parking lot. Yeah. He was probably more willing to do it due to being in a group. Which is another shame, because any one of them individually, the odds of them that would have been doing something like that is much lower. But getting in a group of people, getting riled up, makes their capacity to commit things like that a lot higher. He was horrified and talked to the other parents. I mean, that's understandable. I would be extremely distraught if you informed me of somebody that I knew doing that. Hope they change for the better, at least. It's tough because there's two ways that conversation could go. The parent could behave in a way that could cause that behavior to be reinforced, or behave in a way that would help curb it. Because some parents lash out, get angry, shut the child off, which isn't really conducive to helping them understand why these things are wrong or help them get better. Child was alone, you biked, didn't touch you, act off, you're super respectful. Yeah. A lot of the times, it'll just be genuinely nice people who get caught up in something without fully understanding or thinking it through, and then end up doing something that, hopefully, they, regret. Hey, Molly. It's why mobs are terrifying. Especially, sounds like a cult? Not really. Like, cults are a very different thing. One, cults don't usually do anything. Like, they'll probably have strange beliefs, but most cults are just going to be a group of people following someone charismatic who's narcissistic and wants to be worshipped. And they're not going to hurt people. They're not going to, do things like that. They're just going to have weird beliefs. And obviously some cults aren't going to do that. There is a kind of similar effect in play, but it's more just being swayed by charisma that gets people into cults. Lots of cults siphon money from their believers and do hurt people. Yes, sorry, I suppose I phrased that poorly. I was phrasing that in the sense of the cult as a whole hurting people who are not in the cult. When it's more the charismatic narcissist taking advantage of the people in the cult. But it's a different sort of thing. You're sad, Quoxy? Oh, what's wrong? But yeah, especially in situations where people feel like their actions cannot be traced back to them or that they won't face consequences, people in groups are capable of doing very atrocious things. I mean, you can see it to an extent. The acts that happened on January 6th at the Capitol. A lot of the people there probably, at their core, are not horrible, awful people. They're just people who got swept up in charismatic rhetoric and emotion, and convinced themselves to do something without fully thinking it through, or understanding what exactly was happening, following the lead of others in the group, when if you took them individually, they would not be capable of anything like that. Think you lost a friend today? What happened? I'm getting kind of hungry. I don't want to go get a snack. Well, I'm not really too sure what to tell you about that, Quoxy. I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm not particularly good at comforting sad people. If you were expecting something to that effect, I'm not going to be able to help very much there. I hope you're wrong, but oh, I passed 4,000. I was supposed to stop at 184,000. Yeah, okay. I think I'll pause there. And it's not because of what you were saying, Quoxy. I was going to stop anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I will continue later tonight. Hopefully getting down past 180,000 today. So yeah, bye everyone.